Okay, today we are doing a prime rib roast how-to video, which actually it's not prime rib. Everybody uses that term, but it's actually premium from Publix. There's what I paid for it. It was $10, $11 a pound, but it is not prime. Prime refers to a cut or a really high-end beef. And nearly no one carries prime. You got to special order it. So we're doing the premium beef, but it's still going to call it a prime rib roast. Right now I've got it out. I'm letting it get a little bit to room temperature. It's been out for about an hour. I have rubbed it down with some olive oil, and I will be putting some salt and pepper and a couple of other things. A lot of people don't like to put salt, but I'm going to put salt on mine before I cook it. And some fresh ground pepper, and that's probably all. I may add something, but other than that, we're going to let it sit here, get a little, like I said, room temperature. We're going to put it in this oven. I'm preheating it right now to 450 degrees, and once it gets there, I'll put it in at 450 for about 20 minutes. I'll reduce the heat to 350, and then we're going to use an internal temperature probe to get us to our desired temperature, which I think is going to be around 135 to 140 or so. Of course, the lower the redder it'll be, but I would actually cook it a little lower for myself, but other people are eating it and they seem to freak out sometimes about really red meat. So we're going to about 130, or we'll see when it's cooking, but it looks like 130, 135 right now. But we'll update the video momentarily. Okay, it's about time to put the roast in the oven, and as you can see, I ended up using a little bit of garlic salt, Lawry's garlic salt, which you know, I just lightly dusted it. I didn't put a lot, just a little bit. I don't want to kill the overkill the flavor of the meat. I just want to put a little bit of seasoning on it. I also put a little bit of a cracked peppercorn. And right before I stick it in the oven, I'm going to hit it with some sea salt, fresh ground sea salt. I just don't want the salt sitting on it a long time, you know, just drawing the moisture out of the meat. So right before I stick it in the oven, I'll put that in there. I'm going to be using a probe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this probe and place it about where I think center would be on, you know, on the outside of it, and kind of get my finger marked on it. So I don't know, right there would probably be pretty much center. So I'm going to get in the center of the roast and stick it down to where I think right there should be perfect. So that'll give me a good internal reading. Okay, the roast is in the oven at 450 degrees. I've got the timer set for 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is let that time down to 20 minutes. And I did change ovens. I was going to put it in the top oven, but I was a little bit concerned with that pizza stone retaining too much heat when I went from the 450 to the 350 degree transition. So I just put it in the lower oven where there's no stone. And then we got the probe right here. We're going to, like I said, let it time down to 20 minutes. Once the 20 minutes is gone, we're pretty much going to go by this probe once we get to 135 or so. So anyhow, here we go. Okay, as you can see, we're at about 53 seconds left at 450 degrees. And what I'm going to do is back this down to 350 degrees. And I'm actually going to open this up. We can look right here too. This went up 3 or 4 degrees. And we're going to open it up and take a look at the roast, which you can see it browned up real well. The fat sides got crispy a little bit, got a little bit of brown on it already. And we're going to open that door. I'm going to let a little heat out, like I said, and let the oven go to 350 degrees. And then we're going to rely on that right there to get us to 130 or so. And then we will pull it out, let it rest, and maybe 15 minutes, and then we're going to slice it up. Alright, just for the record, we're at 125, and I started this timer at an hour and a half. So it's been about an hour and 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And if you wanted it medium rare, you probably should have pulled it at an hour and 15 or so. And you can see it looks good, sounds good, everything looks good on it. It's got a good sear, and should be good. While I'm waiting on it to finish up, I'm going to make the horseradish sauce, which is the recipe calls for like 8 ounces of sour cream and some horseradish to taste. I mean, they put numbers in there, but you just taste it. That's the best way. Same way with the Worcestershire. Just a little bit of Worcestershire, just see what you like, and some lemon juice. And I'm going to put some salt in it because I like salt. But anyhow, fixing to make that up. By the time I'm done with that, it'll be ready to pull that out probably and let it rest for the, say, 15 minutes or so before you slice it. So that's where we are. Okay, I put 3 tablespoons of this right here, horseradish, prepared horseradish, in about 8 ounces. I used about half that container of sour cream, and I just shook a few, shakes of Worcestershire. And right now, I think it needs maybe 1 more of those, 1 more horseradish, and then probably about that much more horseradish. And we'll stir that up and try it. I think it's fine. I may add a little more horseradish and a little more salt, which I already put a little bit of salt in it. Maybe even some more pepper, but mainly, right now, we're at 134 degrees. I don't know if you can see that or not, and I don't think you can, but trust me, it's 134. So I'm going to pull that out. Actually, it went to 135. I'm fixing to pull it out, and then we'll know what it looks like at 135. Okay, the timer has gone off. It's still pretty warm. We'll move it right here and transfer it to that plate. I did a little bit extra. Like I said, I put a little more Liam Perrins in there, and a little more horseradish, a little more salt. But right now we're about to move that roast to the plate, and we're going to slice it up. Okay, it is on the plate. Now, one thing I wanted to add that I think means a good bit is you can see what kind of drippings I got. It might make some very good sauce au jus for sandwiches or whatever. I'm not going to do that, but you can see there's a good bit in the bottom, and I didn't do anything but put a little bit of olive oil on it. So I am using a KitchenAid roasting pan, and it has a rack that holds it off the bottom, and it's just a good pan. It works well for a roast, especially for a prime rib. You can see the bone is exposed a little bit, about 1 inch on the bottom. So before I go much further, I'm going to cut it and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to try and slice this with one hand. No, it's not going to work, so I may have to do a little bit of slicing and then come back. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now that is, like I said, that's 3 slices off of the roast. It's not red at all, so 135 will get you a fairly done piece of meat, which is a little more done than I like it. But as I said in the beginning, some people here are not crazy about really red meat, but the next one I do, if I were to do it just for me or certain people, I would pull it at probably 120, maybe 125 at the most. But I mean, it's by no means overdone. It looks fantastic. I mean, I did taste it just a little bit, and it is very good. So we're going to get out the horseradish sauce. I got some sourdough bread, and I also have some Italian bread, and I'm going to maybe make a sandwich or just eat it like it is with some of that horseradish sauce. So anyhow, here it is again with John's how-to videos. So anyhow, y'all check back with me for others. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.